Che Guevara, where he states that we cannot be sure of having something to live for unless we're willing to die for it. This protest was an exhibition of people's willingness to stand and die for something that they believe in. So to all comrades, I congratulate you all for your decision and for your unwavering commitment to die for what is right, to stand and die for what is right. Your courage, our courage, has convinced the government to reconsider its decision to revoke the notifications that absorb the contractual appointments. It must not have been a very easy decision to participate in the protest, given our domestic, professional, and family obligations and the livelihood struggles that we have every day. It requires a leap of faith. You make yourself and your family vulnerable to be intimidated and victimized by the system, the trolls, the slander and hate of the opposition. It requires a lot of courage and resilience to stand shoulder to shoulder with those who share your cause and a cause greater than yourself, a fight against injustice and inequality. But we have the satisfaction of knowing that our actions will resonate for generations to come. We have become an integral part of the beginning of a great change in our society, where the very foundations of the old and unjust order of recruitment and institutions have been shaken and questioned, and a new generation is called upon to remake and rewrite the wrongs, replacing them with principles based on meritocracy and right to equal opportunity. This agitation has not been about individuals or organizations. It is a voluntary people's movement and the ideals that it stands for. So, to all comrades, supporters, elders, well-wishers, social activists, student bodies, churches and ministries, youth and village organizations, coaching institutes, study centers, and members of the media cutting across the whole of Nagaland and beyond, we sincerely thank you for your unwavering support extended to us. This truly indeed is a people's movement. Having said that, we believe that the battle is not won yet, following, if in case the government by tonight revokes the notification order, we still strongly feel that there is no need to continue with any committee formed in the connection of 147 backdoor appointments, and we demand the government to make arrangements for the shortages that have given rise to the 147 posts and requisition them to the NPAC at the earliest. With these outstanding issues at large, we humbly request all of you to remain committed and resolute, continuing to extend your valuable support till our legitimate demands are fulfilled by the government.
Court Law Director Puri Duli before I note 1-2 points. To court order to say, the whole reason behind protesting, agitating on the street, it is because we feel that this is illegal. So in regard to this, there is a court judgment verdict which I would like to read out. The Honorable Guwahati High Court, Kohima Bench, in the landmark judgment in Atuzo Penyu, Doctor and others versus the State of Nagaland and others 2015, GLT 482, after considering of a number judgments laid down in Para 19. Appointments made without following appropriate procedures under the rules holding the field and without advertisement and without inviting applications from open market would amount to infringement of Article 14 and 16 of the Constitution, and so regularizing a service of the candidate otherwise not appointed by following prescribed procedure would not be valid mode of appointment. The entry of this appointment into the service having been achieved through backdoor cannot acquire any right, and so regularization of this service would amount negating the prescribed procedure at the cost of Article 14 and 16 of the Constitution of India. Even taking recourse to a scheme framed under Article 162 of the Constitution to circumvent the prescribed procedure under a statutory role would be contrary to the constitutional mandate. It is the established law that no regularization is permissible on the strength of a cabinet decision adopted in exercise of power Article 162 of the Constitution of India, and subsequently such regularization is liable to be struck down. Acha, Dui Berman Concerned Minister Gilopa, Aro Chief Secretary Lopa, Agiremala, Satina Balu highlight to the Huli Amala second din de Lopa, the Minister second din de Lopa, and de one is we agreed on 2 points. Number one, though, revocation of the regularization order. Number two is the committee which was framed to study the case of the 147 will be dissolved. We agreed upon that. And as per the assurance given by the concerned minister, he would give the order of revocation, all those by this evening. But now I think it's already 4:44 now. So the office hour is already over. And till now we have not received any notification from their side. Now, see, we want to be very clear, okay? We are not against the employees, but we are against the mode of recruitment. We are not against those people who are appointed on contract. Even if the order is revoked, kuri dishi kulivi taekwondo service to continue kuru contracted thina kam kuri thenguro. To tade students kan ge moro mase student ando duk pai jawo inala question no it could be arise no because they will continue to teach. Aro since itu students kan la career do so important as it to affect na lagi and it will not affect. Kuli mala concern do those posts which are bar was a manso between bar was a 2016 pichide appoint ho hala post to NPC de pathai di requisition with them. It is there. One is now we are not against those appointees. We are against the mode of recruitment. Aro man, acha first day or second day meeting with the minister gelo patan de also do ina thai se first day lo patan de minister wa kwado. If the order is revoked, if the regularization order is revoked, all the posts will be nullified. It will become zero. That's what he said. Ina pushitai. He also added that those posts were specially created for these people. Ina pushitai. These posts were specially created for them. Ina pushitai. Ita man kiki kwase kulibi second din de ekta realize kule paredo second din de tai kakos kumba dikha dido kumba maybe by mistake wa tai na dikhaula la kumba dikhai disola to tare 129 post creation la mention kura thakiro 129 post creation la na to moi la hisab te do tai ni jo ta thari contradict kore first din de buje to post creation kuredo it was specially for these people busido our second in this actually our type wado if this order is revoked it post pura zero ho jawo nabi kuside moi clear he zola moi kodu na bujo pareso na we second in the jadam de document kuma saru 129 post creation la bi thakji to tai jo ta ko thalo contradict kure nisna aro again I want to clarify on something. Actually, the post is not only 147, okay? It's not only 147. On the first day when we met the minister, though he did not give us a copy of the order, but he allowed us to read. So, tadi purule paredo, man dikhiu paredo 151 post la thekju. One-time dispensation गर्ने ना একটা one-time practice गर्ने खाली 151 जोन ला नाम दो ताकि कैबिनेट ला decision दे थी हलवी ताई निजोर पॉइंट्सना कुंबा पोस्ट तो निजोर resign हुए कुंबा मनो अरो कुंबा मनो तो मोरी जैसे तो इना बिना इतने तो 147 तो पोस्ट तो है 147 तो इतना इना हुई जैसे तो see, we want to be very clear. One is na mala demand first the key order should be revoked, and those posts which are occupied after 06/06/2016 it should be sent to NPSC. Aro by this evening noli ajib rati bitore tahala order to government la order to revocation la to duita demand la ahana igulo to kali to man resume to realizing to really to resume to lagi, and we will be gathering outside the higher education department and we will continue to demand what is ours. To listen.
Secretary. So on the third day of protest, since the department did not come up with anything to address our grievances, we sent a letter to the Chief Secretary through the Deputy Commissioner. So on the fourth day, we were given a formal invitation from the Chief Secretary to have a meeting with him. So 3 members from CTAN and 3 members from NNQF, we attended the meeting. So let me just give you the brief highlights of those 3 meetings. So in the meeting, we both the NNQF and CTAN, we addresses our grievances to the Chief Secretary, and then we were reaffirming our stand, that is revocation of that 147 contractual appointees, and send those appointees after 2016 to the NPSC for requisition. So the Chief Secretary and his colleague and even the ex-officio chairman of higher education was present. So the Chief Secretary on behalf of the government requested us to reconsider as in the committee which was formed by the government, which is set for 2 months. However, we replied the Chief Secretary saying that we completely lost trust with the government, because different organizations and have been asking this requisition for a very long time, and then because of the government contracting their own OM and many things, because of that we explained to the Chief Secretary that we completely lost trust with the government and we are not ready to accept the request from the Chief Secretary, that is the committee, for 2 months to be reviewed, and so that was our stand. And then on the part of Chief Secretary and his colleague, they told us, they requested us again to reconsider for 2 months at least, and if the government did not come up with anything to resolve the issue, we can come up for the protest again after 2 months, for which we rejected. And then we dispersed from the Chief Secretary, saying that we are not agreeing with the committee, and we are still sticking with that 147 appointment revocation and requisition it to the NPSC. So after we left the Chief Secretary room, again when we reached the spot of the protest, we were also invited by the informal invitation through text to one of our member, invitation from the concerned minister. So at 4:30 we met the concerned minister, and then we deliberated at length about our grievances and then the appeal that we made. So the concerned minister, because of his own good reason, he tried to convince us about the various technicalities that the department is facing. But since it is not convincing to us, because that the explanation that the minister is giving to us is not under any established procedure, so we rejected the same even to the concerned minister. And at last he admitted with the government wrongdoings as well, and then he said that he will revoke the order. However, the committee, he insisted that the committee will be still there, it is not dissolved. So on that note, we departed from his room, and then the next day again we also got an invitation from him again at his residence, and same thing was put on us regarding the reason that the government is regularizing that 147 contractual appointee. However, we still stick to our demand, and not only that, on the third day, on the second invitation from him, we also thought that the committee which was formed for the revocation was illogical if it still remains, because the committee was actually formed for the revocation. So if the revocation is done, then there's no point of having that committee again. So we appeal to the concerned minister to dissolve the committee as well. So the minister agreed to it, and he said that further he will dissolve the committee, but another committee will come up in order to deal with this issue. To which the NNQF and CTAN did not agree to it, because like we said, since all this committee will be mostly government officials, we don't trust the committee as well. So our point to the concerned minister on the second day was the same, which is revocation of the 147 contractual appointee, and send those contractual appointee after 2016 to the NBSC for requisition. So that is the firm stand that the two organizations has, along with the aspirants. Thank you.
We would like to put on record that the first demand of the protest, that is, revocation of the said order that allows absorption and regularization of 147 contractual posts under higher education, is being addressed. But we are yet to receive any official order from the cabinet and from the concerned department. So it is our appeal that if this order, official order, is not released or given in the public by tonight, the protest which we have been doing will resume. However, with the second demand still not being acknowledged, that is the immediate requisition of 147 posts falling after 06/06/2016 Cabinet OM to NPSC for open advertisement. We are on our heels to swing back to protest. We also want to make it clear that the two charter of demands are two sides of the same coin. We will not accept a piece of meal solution but an entire whole. The failure to fulfill or any attempt to delay the second demand by the government, the CTAN and NNQF will continue to fight, taking appropriate measures and actions, appealing the government, demanding to the government, until our demands, that is the requisition of the contractual post after 06/06/2016 to the NPSC. So we will continue to fight for this as well. Further, as the issue also pertains to education, it is our desire that the present 147 contractual position continue to ensure smooth progression of the academic calendar events till these positions are being filled through NPSC. And as a matter of fact, it concerns the students' community. So we appeal that the students' life, their academic lives, are not affected because of this current issue. We also want to clarify on our stand relating to the rejection of committee constituted or to be constituted in the future. Government is passionate to constitute committee for solution. However, we are of the opinion that the constitution of committee is an attempt to this solution. We have reasonable apprehension on the government that it is strategized by the government to cover its illegal acts. We are of the impression that this is a modus operandi or excuses of the government to deviate the matter to a different dimension without confronting it directly. Involvement of bureaucratic personnel and procedure will not result in any desired solutions but create baptism and delay. We have lost faith in the confidence of the government. Questionable claim on adherence to standard operating procedure. We take this policy is a systematic device of killing the burning issue by deviating, delaying, and legitimizing the action of government. We expect the substantial outcome of such arrangement but to mislead the public while impressing to address the issue. Hence, negotiation for a committee is out of our agenda. We demand fast-track documentary solution to the demand at hand. And let us remember that the youths are unrest. And so also the protest or any kind of fight against such corruption in our state will continue in one manner or the other. So it is my appeal even to the youth and the educated masses of Nagaland to continue to support CTAN and NNQF. Thank you.
Both the concerned minister and the chief secretary. Every one of us is mentioning about revocation of 147 assistant professor appointed under contractual basis who got regularized. Now here we put our point across the table of chief secretary as well as the concerned minister. We have 2-3 category where this 147 assistant professor cannot be regularized on legal ground. So one category is those within this 147. One category of those appointees comes under the backdoor appointment. That is appointment done without public advertisement. Now the second one is within 147, there is another category of people who got regularized without essential qualification. That is the second category we presented. And then another one is like the minister has mentioned to the media that and also with the OM of 17 March 2024, which talks about regularizing those contractual appointees who has served for 10 to 15 years. Now, why we are asking the government to revoke and send those contractual appointees after 2016 to NBSC for requisition. Why? Because the length of service is not even 10 years. So the government are contradicting when they regularize this group of people. So after 2016, now it's 2025, you can count it's not 10 years. And then the memo itself says regularization of those people who serve for more than 10 or like 10 to 15 years. So 10 years, if we take 10 years as a minimum also, appointment after 2016 is, those are not entitled for regularization. So those are the different categories where this appointment were nullified, and that is where we put our point across the table to the chief secretary to look into these matters. And then when we were talking to the minister, he was saying that this 147 is specially created for absorption of these contractual appointees, and it is not a sanctioned post. So we were challenging his statement saying that if it is non-sanctioned post, there is no entitlement for regularization. So another one, we also put this point to him countering about the sanctioned post. Sanctioned post, of course, that one time special dispensation, it can be covered to regularize. However, those sanctioned posts, those people who are appointed or who were appointed abiding the established procedure, that is without those posts which were taken with open advertisement, that comes under this one. So even if it is sanctioned post, if their mode of appointment is not under the procedure prescribed by the law, they are not entitled for regularization. So those are the points that we put on the table of Chief Secretary and the concerned minister as well.